Welcome to Realtor Talk with Steph and Kel.
Hey guys,
Hi, I'm Stefanie Campbell.
and I'm Kelly Dugan.
Whether you're buying, selling, or just curious on the ins and outs of the real estate world, you've come to the right place.
What are we going to talk about on this podcast?
Everything, duh.
You name it, we cover it.
Tune in weekly as we bring you insightful conversations with industry experts, success stories, horror stories, and definitely some laughs along the way.
Welcome.
Howdy, howdy.
Episode 21. We can drink.
Wow,
Cheers. I love it. All right. Well, it's been a little bit. How was your vacay? We can talk about the storm that hit after your vacay.
I don't know. I don't know. Am I mentally ready? I had an awesome vacation, actually.
Yes, you really are.
Big fan of Alabama Shores. If anybody hasn't been, was lovely. Kids had a blast. Just big fan.
Well, I'm glad you had such a good vacation because you came home to something not so good. Guys, listen to this really quick. I mean,
Do I have to tell this? I have to tell the story again, don't I?
yeah, you do.
Okay. I was showing a condo in the Gold Coast on July 16th. And it was 11:30 a.m. I remember all of this. And I get a knock on the door during my showing, and somebody's like, "Your car is being towed." I'm like, "Damn it." Run downstairs or get in the elevator, run downstairs, car's gone. I'm like, "Oh, this is really putting
A wrench in your day.
a wrench in my day." So I obviously assume my car is towed. I go all over looking for it. I go to, first of all, finding the tow yard in Lower Wacker was an experience all in itself.
She had wedges on and she was walking
I
around the
literally had
city.
dress clothes
I can't
on.
believe you didn't call me.
You know what's so funny is, in this podcast, I always look like, well, I have not an ounce of makeup on, and I'm in workout clothes that I intended to work out in this morning, but we skipped. But for showings, you dress up. So
Yeah.
I was dressed up. I was showing a high-end condo later that day. I had wedges on, so I'm like walking down Lower Wacker looking all over for where this is, because for some reason I could not find it when my friend was trying to drive me to it. The girl I was showing.
Thank God it was your friend that you were showing.
It was actually, the funny thing is, the people we were on vacation with, Kathy Schoen, it was her daughter.
Okay, well that's good.
Yeah, so I feel so bad. She was like, "Oh my God." I think even she felt bad. Like, it was like her fault. And I'm like, I'm in the city all the time. This could happen at any moment. So go to all the tow yards, and they're like, "Oh, no, we don't have your car. We can't find your car. Can't find your plates. Can't find your VIN number. Nobody has it." I'm calling all the tow yards. Nobody can find it. Actually, I will say the tow yard in Lower Wacker, all the workers there were very nice to me. They probably felt
I was
bad.
gonna say you needed that.
I know.
You needed
And they were like, the only other yard it could be is this one. And so they give me the number. I call, and they're like, "Ma'am, you need to call the police. Your car's been stolen." I'm like, "No." I'm like, "My car was towed." I'm like, "It was not stolen. It was towed." They're like, "No, their tow trucks can steal cars." I'm like, "What?" I call the police. The police are like, "Oh yeah, those are called tow scavengers. Most likely it was stolen. They ran my plates. My plates didn't show up on any cameras. So they probably deplated my car right away." I don't know. I don't know what this. This is like an organized crime.
Yes.
The crazy thing is that we, my friend / client, parked in a valet garage less than a block away, just like down the street a little bit. When we got into that valet garage, I told that valet guy, I was like, "God, my car was just towed." He's like, "Oh yeah, I watched 8 cars towed from the street today." And the crazy thing is that in Chicago, you can type in the street and type in the date, and it'll show every car that was towed from that street that day. So that you have to if you relocate a car within Chicago legally, you have to put it into this database so that they know where all the cars are at. So looked up that day, looked up that street, not one car was entered in the system. So that means that those 8 cars that he saw taken, even if he was exaggerating, even if it was 5, that means all of those cars were stolen, not towed.
Oh my gosh. And it's like, what do you like? You really can't like avoid getting your car towed when it's parked. Like, it's one thing, like, okay, I was an idiot and I left my car unlocked, or this, like, oh, you
There's
really,
nothing you can do.
like, what are you gonna do?
So everything that was in my computer was in my car, and I
felt so bad for you.
I rarely leave my computer in my car, you know, because you're worried about somebody breaking your window and taking it. But I was in the Gold Coast. It's a super safe area, and I was literally in that showing for like seconds. Like, it was so fast.
Well, wasn't it like the bag you chose that day? Because Stefanie, I'll be the first to.
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. The only reason I didn't have my computer on me is because I have a smaller bag right now, and I didn't feel like putting my computer in my bag. And I usually just throw my computer's usually in my purse.
Stefanie always has her computer on her. That's why I thought for sure there was no way it was in your car. And when you said that, I was like, oh,
and it's so funny. I remember leaving it in my front seat, the computer, and I was like, oh, should I bring this? Oh, I'll just leave it. And I threw, like, I had a kid's clothes in the car, and I threw the kid's clothes on top of the computer so nobody'd see it. Yeah, and I mean, I had so much stuff in that car. Oh my God. I mean,
I live out of my car. I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, we do. We live out of our car. The Sentry lock boxes, they're $80 a pop.
Yes.
You know, it just, oh my Lord.
It's just a headache on top of it.
It's a headache, and I'm just depressed, but I'll try to be cheerful for you guys today.
All right, yeah,
because we're actually talking about something nice.
Yeah, this is actually, I'm excited for this topic. This is basically, I guess, a shout out to people who tend to contemplate and if they should use a realtor that they are friends with, or if it's in their best interest to use a complete stranger. And I mean, let's be honest, we all know what mine and Stefanie's opinions are, but we are here to tell you why you should work with a friend and why it's not in your best interest to work with a stranger.
Well, it's kind of funny that people even at all have this. There's a few reasons that I think people have
a hesitancy,
reservations about using friends as a realtor. One is that the biggest one is that people think, and we got this topic actually from a girlfriend of mine that was a realtor. Shout out, Lindsay. Hello. Thank you for the topic idea. She said, and this is true, people get worried to use you as a realtor because they think you're going to be privy to all their finances.
That is so not true.
It is not. All. It's not the case at all. And I will say, like, obviously we know your budget, but budget oftentimes has nothing to do with somebody's income. No. I mean, it obviously has something to do with it, but most people have a budget that they want to spend regardless of what they make.
Well, and I think also, too, you have to remember how many people we deal with on a day-to-day, month-to-month basis. So, like, I've seen people who have a plethora, an enormous amount of money, buy a house that, you know, would be significantly cheaper than what they can afford, and vice versa. I've seen people who, you know, they know that they're going to go at their very top of their budget, and that's that. Like, none of those things indicate how much you make, and like, nor do we care again with how many people we like. It's just,
we don't see your bank account. We don't know your income. We don't know. That's just like your credit ratings. Like, that's none of our business, frankly.
Right. The lender is the one.
The lender that handles all of that stuff.
Yes, we know how much your house is when it closes, but so does everyone else and their mother who sees it on Zillow and Realtor too.
That is so true.
That's the way I look at it.
That is so true. Like, everybody that you know
can look up your house and see how much you paid for it.
Yeah, exactly.
And aside from the privacy part, I think that just in general, and of course we're going to be biased, but I do feel like we have all of the reasons and facts to back it. I just don't know why anyone would want to use someone they didn't know. If, like, to me, that's like, okay, well, then maybe the realtor you know is a friend of me, because like any friend that I have is like, okay, I'm going to trust you with this. Like, you don't have to start from ground zero with me. You don't have to get to know my personality like this. And like, I go above and beyond for all my clients, but there's no denying that when it's your friend, of course it hits closer to home.
There is when it's a friend, there's a little bit more ownership in the deal. Like, I mean, you're going to be visiting them there. You want, like, it's just, you're in the same. The pressure is almost greater, in a good way.
It is
for
greater.
You, you know,
Mhm.
because we want you to have like the best time ever, and you know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And like the easiest process. And it's nice too, like when it's my friends, I'll go on showing sometimes for them and FaceTime them if they can't make it. And like it's just that one extra level of trust and security. We should phone a friend.
That would be so funny. We should
Who should we? I could do Roxy. All right, we're gonna call a friend of ours that has used us in the real estate home buying and selling process. Let's see what she has to say. Do you think they'll be able to hear on the microphones?
we'll give it a try.
I guess we'll
That'd
try.
be so funny.
Okay.
Nothing like a little live action.
A little phone a friend.
You're gonna
Can you
have.
hear it in here?
Well, you gotta make sure you're in the mic too. Though.
Okay.
I don't know if I can. Is she on speaker? Yeah. Oh yeah, now I can.
You can.
Hello.
Hello, Roxanne. How you doing?
Hello, Kelly Dugan. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So me and Stephanie are on the podcast here, and we're talking. Our episode is about friends and why you should use a friend as your realtor if you have a friend that's a realtor versus a stranger. And I thought, who better would to ask about their experience than you?
Well, thank you.
Okay. So what would you say the difference would be if you didn't use me and you used a complete stranger?
It would be a terrible experience.
Just kidding.
What would be a terrible experience?
It would have. No, I asked, would it have been a terrible experience without me?
Yes. I feel like I didn't know anything about looking for houses, so I feel like you feel more comfortable with a friend first off, like right off the bat. And probably that I would trust you more than a random person.
Oh, thanks, Rox.
I know that you obviously know your stuff from doing it for a while now, and yeah, I don't know, you helped. Like even when we got turned down on offers, I feel like being a friend, you made it feel like it wasn't the end of the world.
And now you guys are in a house and happy, and you're close to me, and we're neighbors, and life just worked out great.
Oh,
right?
so she
Neighbors.
made you be her
Yep, I
neighbor
got
too?
her to be
Oh
my
my god,
neighbor.
that's hilarious.
Well,
We are neighbors.
well,
Yes.
thanks, Rox. I appreciate the phone a friend input.
Oh, you're welcome. And yeah, I think definitely trust and like comfort. Trust and comfort. And especially if you're a first time, you don't know anything about it.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
true, I
Comfort is
agree.
a huge thing.
Yes,
Because this is
totally.
emotional. You want to be able to like be honest with somebody and be like, I'm so upset.
Remember when us three sat at
Yes.
Jameson's and we were like, we just need to regroup? Like they got defeated in the
Yes.
market, like beat out, and we literally had this regroup. And then at the end of our meeting, they decided, they were like, we're gonna wait until the fall. We're a little discouraged. And then I got that listing, and I was like, all right, guys, but I have one more house for you to see, and that was the one.
Oh, really?
Yes.
We were about to give up for like a couple months, I think. We were gonna take a break.
And then I got him
And that
something
was-
off
and that was
market.
the one, yeah.
Yeah,
That's a great story.
yeah. So,
Okay, I
well,
love
thanks, Rox.
Yeah. You're welcome. Thank you.
Of course, I'll talk to you soon.
Okay,
it. Bye, Roxy. I love that. What a cute little
Wow.
idea.
I know. We
Oh
could
my
do that
gosh, we're
more.
so impromptu.
That's the first time we've had a third person on here. And
Not
because
the-
we can't
wait,
figure out how to
not
get
the
a third
first
mic.
Wait. Well, we better figure it out by tomorrow.
Well, yeah.
We're interviewing somebody tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to figure that out tomorrow, hopefully.
We didn't. Okay. Anyway,
Okay,
we're
so
getting
yeah.
totally off topic.
So, yeah, I
But-
would say the trust, again, like just going a step above and beyond. I actually.
But I think comfort is like that is a huge thing that is underestimated. I think that this is such a personal,
yeah.
emotional experience, and to not feel comfortable with somebody, like to walk in a house and say you hate the house right away, don't you just want to be able to turn to your quote unquote friend and just say like, I hate this house, let's get out of here. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I'm just saying,
Or just
"Ew,
be like,
they're dirty,"
yes.
or I don't know. I mean, I would probably be able to say that in front of everybody.
It would be. There's been times, and you would think too. Like there's been times where I've had to tell, because I usually 9 times out of 10 can read what your face says when we're seeing a
Right.
house, and I'm like, you guys, this is not my house, my listing, like if you hate it and want to turn around, like let's get out of here. Like don't do me any favors by pretending you like it, because like I'm supposed to be like in this with you guys. Like if you don't like something, I need to know, because now I know for the future.
Yeah.
And again, that's kind of an easier thing, like when you do like have the friend, because you kind of just know what they're looking for. And I even think honestly, this could be I don't know if you'll agree with this or not, but I actually kind of love pulling the friend card in multiple offers, because I know that agent knows how it is with a friend. If I'm like, these are just great friends of mine, like they know I'm going to be on it more in a way, like they feel it too, because when they have friends and family they work with, the pressure is on in a good way to make everything go smooth.
That's
and
totally true.
everything like that. So I do love to pull that card. What else? What about with selling?
And also, we should mention that, let's just say we are privy to some personal things, like, I don't know, you're getting divorced or whatever is going on in your personal life. We do legally have client confidentiality.
Yes.
Like we cannot share. If you tell us something, we're like an attorney. We cannot share what you tell us unless you give us permission to share it. So I think that's also a blanket of security for friends that maybe we're in a friend circle and they don't want, Marianne doesn't want Jolene.
No, I actually have kind of a story, and I'm honestly toggling in my head with how to say it, but I'm not obviously going to use names, but there was a friend who reached out to me. I wouldn't call her necessarily a friend, but we've just known each other, blah, blah, blah. And she was going through a divorce. I actually didn't know that her and her husband were separating, and she had a significant other with her on the showing. Oh. And again, none of my business, nothing. Like I did not say anything grave, and like someone who's very, very, very close to me is very, very, very close to her husband. And when it all came out in the wash that like she had this other person, like again, like I didn't tell my sister, like, and it was like I just felt like this is my job, I can't do that.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I know that
I know,
but and again, like the way that the story ends, it's like word got out of that situation, and I think because she didn't end up using me, I have a feeling she thinks it was me and it was not, and that kind of upsets me because I didn't
really?
like I did not open my mouth at all. Yes. And again, whatever, I'm not going to make a big stink over that, but yeah, it was like,
guys, the drama.
But I'm like, you know what, I'm like, and again, it didn't even cross my mind. I'm like, it's not my business. Like I met your significant other, whatever. Again, like this is my job, and I'm going to the next client or the next showing after you. Like I'm not calling anyone to give like any, I don't know, it's like two separate parts of the brain,
right?
And yeah, the privacy aspect is huge, and that comes along with trust. Like we can tell you until we're blue in the face, like everything is so safe and secure with us. It is, but I feel like that the people who trust us and our friends, they know that.
Yeah, and I kind of like when I work with friends where I can be honest. Like I could say, I don't think you should buy this house.
Oh, yes.
You know
100%.
what I mean? And I try to, I pretty much tell most people what I think. I just pepper it. I put a little bit more of a filter on it when you're not my friend, when you're, not as close with me.
Yes.
But there has been instances where like, I think you should buy this house or not that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, have you ever been in a situation where someone didn't use you because you were a friend, and anything like that?
I'm sure there has been, but I just can't think of something. But I will say, like, I have had clients, I think it was probably, I'm tempted to say maybe more of a thing at the beginning of my career.
When they and I feel like that too. I feel like the doubt in the beginning of the career, it was almost like a scapegoat.
I will say that I did have somebody during my career, they did end up using me, but they did ask me like whether I was going to be privy to their finances, and like just from a privacy aspect, like they didn't want, obviously if you are in any kind of mutual circle, and especially I almost think people that have a lot of money are more sensitive to it, that they don't want you like blabbing around town. Oh yeah.
And we wouldn't. And that's why it's like I can't,
no,
that's like our final disclaimer.
We have so the wide array of clients that we have, from like budgets from much lower end to extreme high ends. Like it also
all just kind of blurs together.
Nothing is like gossip worthy. Nothing is gossip worthy.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like it all just kind of
business.
Meshes together, and it's work. And we can, the ethical thing, absolutely. We do have that duty to guys, but just in general speaking, like human to human, like I can there is nothing that you cannot trust us with in that sense when it comes
Yeah.
to whether or not it is juicy gossip. And I might be the first person to know that you're leaving your husband. Not going to say anything because
Yeah.
small circles, and I always think about how that's going to affect my business.
But also, it's such like we're not going to risk losing our license
Exactly.
over gossiping, like that's
or a
so,
sale for that matter.
Yeah, so weird.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Yeah. Anyway,
All right, well that's it. So
we
yeah,
love our friends.
We love our
We're so
friends.
grateful for you because
the
literally,
friends who have used me. mwah.
I know. I would. My business is so like, God bless each and every one of you that used me because
Oh, same.
you're paying for my children's college, like truly. And that's another thing that I often want to say is like,
There's a line that you've said before.
one thing I hate, there's like some people say this, it's just like a saying that people use. They say, oh, it's not personal, it's business. I'm like, my business is personal.
It is.
Like it literally is personal. I'm not on a salary job. If somebody decides to use or not use me, that personally affects my life, my family, everything. So
One time Stephanie said, no, when they use another agent, you're literally saying you'd rather feed their family than mine.
that's 100% correct.
No, I mean,
That is 100% correct. And so, and that's the other thing.
I don't disagree. I just love how like pit bully you can be
I'm
about
passionate.
the topic in general. Whereas like, I mean, I am too. Don't get me wrong. But you just get so fired up.
We're not friends.
No.
If you don't use me, we're not friends. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. So I think my friends all know that. That's why I love them so much. They're
Right.
like loyal as the day is long, and I'm so grateful.
I know. Same. I have really good friends too.
So
Thanks,
anyway,
guys.
Thanks.
And family, for that
And
matter.
family.
Because family, I mean, I have a big family, and I know that
Them
things...
Dugans.
No, the Barkers.
Oh, the Barkers.
Yes. I mean, yeah, you know all the Barkers. I mean,
Yeah, I
that's a long grapevine there that there's always things shuffling through. But
That
even
is
still, like,
amazing. See, I have a very small family, so
but yeah, no, I promise that everything that I do know, even though, again, I don't really get to know that much of your personal information in that sense, but anything we know, you can trust us. We're not going to say anything. Not only are we not those kinds of people, but we're not going to risk our jobs in the process.
but we love you.
Yeah,
Okay.
we sure do. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.
Tune in weekly for new episodes.
Follow the link in the show notes to answer our survey and have your topics talked about on Realtor Talk with Steph and Kel.
Thanks for listening. Until next time.
Bye.
Ciao.